In a peaceful monastery nestled deep in the mountains, there lived a wise Zen master named Akio. His teachings had drawn many students from distant lands who sought enlightenment and inner peace. Among these students was a young man named Hiroshi. Eager but impatient, Hiroshi had spent years seeking wisdom, yet he struggled with frustration. He was unable to let go of his desire for control, and his mind was always clouded by stress and doubt. One day, after weeks of seeing Hiroshi's troubled expression, Master Akio called him to the meditation hall. As the two sat together in silence, the master finally spoke. "Hiroshi, what weighs so heavily on your mind?" Master Hiroshi began, "I try so hard to be calm and at peace, but the more I try, the more I fail. I'm constantly overwhelmed like I'm drowning in my own thoughts. How can I find peace when my mind refuses to quiet?" Master Akio looked at him kindly and said, "Meet me by the river tomorrow morning. I will teach you a lesson." Curious and hopeful, Hiroshi agreed. The next day, as the sun began to rise over the horizon, Hiroshi arrived at the riverbank. Master Akio was already there, standing beside a small wooden boat. Without saying a word, he motioned for Hiroshi to join him. They both climbed into the boat and paddled into the middle of the calm river. The gentle sounds of the water lapping against the boat contrasted with the tension Hiroshi felt inside. After a long silence, Master Akio pulled a small wooden box from his robe and handed it to Hiroshi. "Hold this tightly," Akio instructed, "and do not let go." Hiroshi, though confused, did as he was told. The box was small and light, and at first it seemed an easy task. But as the minutes passed, his hand began to cramp, and the box felt heavier with every moment. He shifted uncomfortably, but the master said nothing. He simply watched. After what felt like hours, Hiroshi could no longer bear it. His fingers ached, and his arm trembled from holding the box so tightly. Finally, in desperation, he blurted, "Master, I can't hold it any longer. My hand is in pain." Master Akio smiled gently and said, "Then let it go." Without hesitation, Hiroshi released the box into the water. As soon as it left his grasp, the tension in his body seemed to melt away. His arm relaxed, and his mind felt lighter, as though a burden had been lifted. The master paddled back to shore, and once they stepped onto dry land, he turned to Hiroshi and said, "This is the lesson, Hiroshi. You struggle because you hold on too tightly to things that weigh you down: your fears, your desires, your need for control. Peace does not come from clinging. It comes from letting go." Hiroshi stood in silence, absorbing the wisdom in the master's words. He realized that the harder he tried to control his thoughts and his emotions, the more they controlled him. By holding on so tightly to his expectations, he had been creating his own suffering. From that day forward, Hiroshi's mindset began to change. He learned to loosen his grip on the things he couldn't control, allowing life to flow naturally, like the river. Slowly, his mind became calmer, and he found the peace he had been searching for all along, not through force, but through the power of letting go. And with that simple yet profound lesson, Hiroshi transformed not just his mind, but his entire way of living.